Hi, I'm Kath, the Corner Sewing Girl. Welcome back. Now, as you all know, I haven't been on very much, not very much at all. A close member of my family was going through something. It's not over yet. Thankfully, it's nothing medical. But it sort of took away all the joy I had in sewing. My mind was preoccupied with other stuff. And when it is a close member of your family, you tend to want to be there for them. And I don't take too much stress. It knocks everything out. So I haven't been on for a while. But things are getting a little better with that. And I've decided to, like I said, just to make sure it's not a medical thing. I don't know if I said that or not, but focusing on my sewing. Yeah, I just lost all me sojo, was just completely gone. So I'm going to try and pick up where I left off and hope that my lovely subscribers will still be there, because I have made some lovely friends on my channel. And I watch a lot of YouTube channels. I like Joy Bernhardt. I love listening to her voice. I watch her, and yeah, I've made some friends, and I've got a lovely friend called Tristan. You've just come into my head, Tristan. We haven't spoke for a while, so we'll have to do that. We have a little chat on Messenger, and I met Tristan through this channel, which is lovely. I met Janet. I haven't heard lately from a lovely girl called Dee. Yeah, I haven't heard from Dee for a while, so I must check in and find out how she is. But yeah, I'm happy to be back. Very happy to be back. And this time I'm stopping for good. My sojo has come back. And I think with Christmas on the way, and it's raining out, and you don't think you're missing anything with the sunshine. And also, it's nice to sew. I want to make things for my Christmas tree. And I'm going to show you, I have come up and made a start on a few things. Just going back to my quilt that I was doing, just to refresh you all. I was doing a quilt, and I made these little pots out of my own head, didn't I? I traced round a little pot. I'll get the little pots over there. Yeah, I traced round the pot, and I came up with this little easy block here, and that was so easy. Doing those curves was so easy. So I shall come back to that. And this is where, the reason why I'm showing you another pot is because the quilt I was doing, I took all the colours out of that. Like, I blended this yellow in here out of these colours. So what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to make it, because these are 12-inch blocks. So my ruler was 12.5, but they'll always come out 12 inches. Now I'm going to do 124 and do a longer pot, which up on my design wall, I've pulled all these off now, so no point turning it round. But on my design wall, they look a bit regimental, like, you know, like I've got pot, and then I've got star, and it looks a little regimental going along. So I'm going to try and do another gate beak one of them, and then I'm going to cut out some flowers, and I'm going to show you how I free motion them on. Now, when I do free motion, everyone loves a lovely stitch on free motion, but the way I do it, you don't need no skills, because I just build the stitching up, and I do a zigzag one, and I just go to and fro until I get a little bit of thickness, and then I keep going around, and it gives a nice little edge. I'm going to have to put my sewing machine on in a minute, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So when you're going to and fro and you're just colouring in a little bit round the edge, you don't need no fancy dancy skills. But it's good to learn, and to learn easy sometimes. There's always easy way round of learning. Now, that's carrying on from all those months ago. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. But you know what? Even though you lose your sojo, you don't lose going on YouTube and looking at it. And every day I think sewing. If I go to a town, I'm always thinking, oh, wouldn't it be lovely to have a sewing shop, just so that you can come out with that little something for your sewing room, because this is my room, my special little room. It's the bedroom. I'm not quite sure how big it is. It's quite small. I'll pan you round a minute. It's difficult, isn't it, when I got you up close? It's small, and that's the door there, look, as you walk in. It's small, but it isn't too small. Would I like bigger? Yes, I would. Because sometimes, even when I buy a little container, I'm just looking around here, well, where can I squeeze it into, like, you know? But I've got, as you can see down here, I've got a little bucket for all me Laura Ashley bits and all me lovely bits of linen. And then down here, I've gone off on one again, am I? Telling you something different, but there's all my little bits of linen I got down here. Whoops. I'm coming back because this this gimbal got a mind of its own. I don't know how to work it. I know if you go up, it'll go down. That's all I know. Anyway, I'm back. And I've got all my little, I've got another bucket with all my linen, and I'm going to make something with these, whether it's cushions or what. I'm gonna start using all these things up. I didn't buy my Bernina 790, which I was going to do. It went more for the Bernina 790. I didn't go ahead and buy it purely because with me losing my sojo, I thought, well, what's the point? Am I going to be up here, or is it just a lot of money just put in your sewing room? Like, you know, mind you, that would have got me going. I would have been singing like a bird on that. I wouldn't have been saying, oh, I don't feel like it. I would have been happy, that's for sure. But I'm on the edge, because I thought, wow, I could really, really deeply go into it, learning all the features and really learning it, and then I could tell you guys all about it. But not everyone got that machine really. So and I felt so guilty giving up my brother. I thought, well, I could keep it as well, but then, you know, them being so expensive, these new machines, it's nice to it's just nice to trade in what you got to help with the price of everything, in it. But just as I said that, something just flew into my head. I got 4 grandchildren, and they've gone off to Houston in Texas. I'm just going to have to squeeze this in and tell you before I forget. Now, my grandchildren don't like it that I haven't done a video, because they're out in Houston and they watch me. And they said, Granny, we want you to come back on YouTube again. So as I was here chatting away, I flew in, hey, I'm back. And I'll tell you all their names. We got Tia, Bella, Toby, and Che. The 2 boys are the younger ones, and the 2 girls are slightly older. Well, Tia's 18 now. Bella's about 12. And then they got the younger boys. But they look so grown up now. I say younger boys when I see them on, you know, they do WhatsApp. They look so tall, and it's a shame really, because time goes by so quickly. And they got a lovely, lovely house out there, and they living in a beautiful area called Katy, Texas. Yeah, and at Christmas, all the houses are just done up. If he sends me one, I'll send it to you. Mind you, somebody's house in Texas will be on YouTube. But they just show me such lovely things they do at Christmas, and it's coming up for that time of year now, so I'm excited for them, for all the nice things they do. And I'm saving up to go out there, saving up for me Benina 790. My God, I got a lot of things to save for. Anyway, let's show you what I've been up to. I just move you back. Hang on. If I go up for down, I'll bring you down a little bit. There we are. Now, I thought, seeing as coming near Christmas, I'm going to make some tea cozies, and I'm going to show you how to do them. So, on the front of my tea cozy, I'm going to have this. Now, bear in mind, it's going to be rounded and curved on the sides. And the bottoms, that's just that selvage edge to be all tucked in underneath. All right. So we got that one for the front of the tea cozy, and we got this for the back. I got some of the, because I've always said this, with this lovely linen, it is a loose weave, so you will need to put that water soluble, I did have some on there, that water soluble polythene. It looks like polythene, and you just lay it on top, and then you can sponge it off with water. But I didn't do that. I just pulled it off, but I got little fragments. I gotta go, look, as you can see, I still got it there, haven't I? That's that water soluble. You can see it shining. You need to just rub it with something, and be careful you don't catch your fabric underneath. And then I done this one here. That should look nice on a tea cozy, because I know they can't be all year round, but you know, we take them out every Christmas and they go on for a while, wouldn't they? And I love tea cozies. Tea cozies does look a lovely part of your own, a little bit cheerful, doesn't it? And I done this one. Now, could you imagine that on a tea cozy? And I'll put the kettle on, but. Or he looks in need of a cup of tea, doesn't he? But that one, I made a mistake because I put it that way in the hoop instead of this way. You know, I should have flipped that 90 degrees, but no, still aren't right in my head, still thinking about things, and I did not, I didn't do that. And on the reverse of this one, no, hang on a minute. I'm missing one here. Well, we got Let It Snow on the backs of these, haven't we? They got two with Let It Snow on the backs. Have I got one that's blue? Oh, I lose everything. Anyway, with that one, I had Merry Christmas wrote in... No. Have I got another one here? Here we are. I've got so many. So, to match in with that one, when you see that on a tea cozy, I got to do the shape. I haven't done the shape yet. Tea cozies are easy. And then I've done that, and I've put a bit of the turquoise in there, or teal, whatever you call it, just so that the Merry Christmas matches. This one here that I done wrong because I didn't flip it, I'll make that one into a smaller one and make it, I had a visions of making it into house shape, just so that you give it a little bit, so it doesn't look too small, because that's a big picture really to make a small one with. But we shall get there, we shall sort something out. I love playing around with all that. Then we done this one. Now picture it shaped round like a tea cozy, and on the back I done that for the back. I done that, so that'll go on the back. See, so I am getting me sewing back, am I? And oh, I'll tell you what, I've had a time of it. While I was doing that, I get eager sometimes when the thread change is due, and I'll quickly, and I think, normally sometimes it'll center in the middle, so you can get your hand in round and thread it properly without your hand being too close to the embroidery arm. And I knocked the needle threader and my needle threader for years, or threads every single time, not a problem with it. But I knocked it, and then when I was trying to embroider this one, I didn't have no needle threader, and I had to keep stopping and threading the needle threader. So I thought, oh. But to be honest with you, I was quite pleased. I went online to look to see how much a needle threader was. And Keith Lloyd in Lord Sewing, I've got a few things from there. I quite like them actually, because my embroidery machine needed an upgrade, and they done that. An upgrade where you could have another inch on your, you know, I've always talked about that I want another inch on my embroidery hoop. And I bought the upgrade from there, and it was on offer when Brother had a big sale. And I thought, well, I'll look it up there. And believe it or not, they're only about £7 or £8 for this needle threader. And it's the proper automatic one. And he actually does this demonstration on how to put it on. And the demonstration is very, very clear. But I thought, oh, if it is fiddly, I just as well get it done. But I couldn't send my machine up to Lord Sewing because they're up the country and I live down in Cornwall, so I had to go in my local sewing shop. And there was a lovely chap in there called Joe in the what are they called again, the sewing studio in Red Roof. And he said, look, well, it's here, do you want it serviced? And I said, no, I haven't done no sewing. And he said, well, sometimes it can dry out as well if you, I seem worried, don't I, when I say I haven't done no sewing. So I said, no, I don't want it serviced. And then I think my husband thought, yeah, go on there, take your mind off getting that new machine that cost an arm and a leg. So I said, go on then, I will have it serviced. And he did. But what he did find when he went to service it, he said your embroidery side of it, the tension was a bit tight. And he said, do you know there's 2 bobbins for this machine? I said, yeah. But I said, since my machine is out, I think one fits all. And then I decided to buy another bobbin case anyway, because you loosen one for embroidery and make one the right one for sewing. So now I got 2 bobbin cases. I even placed me needle plate as well, because that if you get a few strikes when your needle breaks. Now, with the Bernina Nut 790, that don't happen, because you go in to your settings and you gotta like tell them what you got on. Like you say, I've got this needle plate, this foot, and then when you come to do something different, it's not that you deliberately not thinking, is that you're doing what you normally do, but you've forgotten you've got a different foot on, and you can't do that with that foot, and it struck the needle plate, and sometimes it'll go down, and where you got your little bobbin case, it'll strike on that, and then that'll catch cotton and keep your threads to keep breaking. So I had a new needle plate, two new bobbin cases, and he done the embroidery. You know, it was £120, I suppose it's fair, for the embroidery unit and my sewing machine to be done together. But if that sewing machine shop wasn't here in Cornwall, God knows where I'll have to send it to. And if it weren't under guarantee and I didn't buy it there, I would have to pay, you know, to send it up the country somewhere. So I'm happy I've got that on my doorstep. It's only about 3-4 miles from me. And they do all the latest machines in there. But he didn't stock the Bernina 790. So I'm going to have to, if I want to test drive that, it sounds like a car, doesn't it? I'm going to have to go up the country. But then again, I sort of watched so many videos. I'd be fine anyway on that. Anyway, this is me snowman. And Oh no. We got to have one that matches this one. So that's the front with the snowmen on, and this is the back. Just see how many minutes I've been on. I haven't been on for many minutes. Right. I had a problem with me sewing when I was doing it. In fact, I might just drop in a little clip a moment of me on my embroidery machine, and you can see how I got on doing a few embroideries. Okay. Right, now we're good to go. We've gone back on here to show you one more time. We've gone back on that one, -10. Now we're coming over. I've threaded the machine and I've popped the little bit of cotton around the back there. I'll show you how I do that, but that is very easy. And then all we do up here is we come to the stitch threader and we press that one. There we go. And she's good to go. So we go down with that one and on with that. Oh no, we didn't thread. Now we've put the pressure foot up so we could pull a little bit of cotton down. Always do that so the tension disc to open. Now we've had a thread breakage, didn't we? So now I'm just going to show you how I thread my needle, because it's got the automatic needle threader on my machine, which is absolutely amazing. So we come down, we poke it through that little, this one here. We come down and we thread it through this little arm here, and we can put the threads right in behind that one there. And then we come out and we just come up and around, and there's a little hook place on there. So I'm just going to do that a moment. So I don't think you'll be able to see me that well. So we go in that little hook thing there, and I'll cut over the back. Right, now we've done a few more. I'm a bit slower tonight because I went down and watched Corrie, but I did leave it running, and it went right around the silver. But I put this colour in the bobbin purely because I thought it'd be nice if it pulls a bit of that up, and hence you'd have a bit of a two-tone going on in places. And it has picked it up. It's done a bit there, and in places that have picked it up. So that's worked. Now I'm going to show you how I thread my needle. I always lower the pressure foot. But what I was going to say is, whenever your thread breaks, I always -10 so that I know where I'm coming back. And in here, if I press this one, it just tells you that I'm on the maximum speed there, and it can go up to 12. Now I did do that silver bit, did go around at the high speed. I don't generally do that if I've got metallic thread on. I do generally take it down to 6, but you can even go down to 350 if you've got some difficult thread and it's old or something and it keeps breaking. You can do it a little bit slower. But I think we'll go for the 600 now, and that should do it. Now close that one off, and we've already minus the 10. And as we come over here, I lowered the pressure foot already, and then I press this icon here. Just press that. Whoops, I had to be quick then, didn't I? Because once you press that needle threader, it is done. And that's one of the nicest things I like about this machine. It has got that needle threader, so it saves time with your eyes. And there we go. That's coming along, I see. Maurice, I've got another design now, another butterfly. It wasn't stitching very good, and I began to get a bit worried. The stitching was coming out terrible. I realised I had the free motion foot on. I've got the right one on now, as you can see. And this is the design. I'll go slowly when I come to the screen here a moment. There we go. We've done 7 minutes out of 37. we've got, oh, it says 17 colour changes. It's quite a lot, isn't it? And we've done 3. And that's the stitch count going down right there. That's the, so you can see it. That's the stitch, and it's got foot W there. And I had the wrong one. I'm doing my own colours. I never like to stick to what I've got to do, because my sofa is this colour, so I tend to, it's okay because I don't go too bold. I keep it nice and soft, and it'll work. See you in a minute. On and on. As you can see, I was having fun, wasn't I? I forgot, didn't I, to put the right foot on. I wasn't thinking, and I had my free motion foot on because it looks so similar to the embroidery foot. They look identical, that when I seen it there, I thought, oh, go right ahead. But I'll tell you for why I had it on, because when I done these snowmen, the snowman, I noticed there was somewhere along the line, I don't know where it was to, one of the hats had a little gap where the stitching didn't cover it. And I thought, I can put my free motion foot on and just colour that little bit in. And that worked. Glad I'd done that. And this is my butterfly I done. Now, with me, I don't like anything too bright, but let me just show the one that went wrong. Ooh. Now, this is the one that went wrong. Now, you're going to say, what's the matter with that? But I am picky. This year was catching a little bit, and although I went back over and back over, I was struggling with this. And this here feels very heavy, very dense. And I'm thinking, what's going on? Because I have done this pattern before. And then I thought, well, now I've got me bigger hoop, I can stick something else to go with it. So I started to do a flower. And where you have the green, and it was coming out awful. And I just bought some Aurifil thread, because that's what you use on Bernina. And I thought, well, I wouldn't mind stocking up on a bit of that. So I bought all this, just some nice colours that I like. I'll show you them. I thought I'll buy this. Now, I bought this in a place called Barnyards Sewing Centre, and they're good for threads. And this one is a lovely, lovely, that's like a purpley shade, I think. This one here, one of them is wine. No, grape. One of them is grape. I think this is the grape. And then this one is more of a deep purple. But I thought they look Christmassy. And I thought if I'm doing a few tea cozies and what for Christmas, or some cushions, these will look nice. But I must have clicked twice when I ordered them online. And I got 2 of these. But these, to me, are too dark. There's another one I like. I'll get it out in a minute and you can see the difference. But when I spoke to, I think he's called John in Barnyards, because I've been chatting to him about me. Hang on, I'll just get me other threads a minute. I was chatting to John in Barnyard Sewing Centre, and I said, Bernina recommend these, or a lot of Bernina machines use these. They'd be fine on my brother, I thought. And he preferred Madeira, but I'd already bought these by the time I'd spoken to him. And he put me off a little, and then when I had the wrong foot on, I thought, oh God, these are awful, these threads. But I've redone it and they're okay. But this is the colour I really, really like, and I've lost it. That is a nice one. That pops nice if you've got some lights in there. And this one is lovely. But they are that you wouldn't want a lot of, because that is a bit bright, isn't it? Now this is my favorite one, this one here. God, and I thought, oh, it does look quite similar, but you can see, God, don't they look similar? God, that can't be the one then. That cannot be the one. Yeah, it must be then. But they're okay. I wasn't disappointed with them when I had them. But I think if I was to buy them again, he said that this is polyester and Madeira is rayon. And if I was to buy a dress, I'd always go for the rayon. I wouldn't buy a dress that was polyester. So I might go back to Madeira again. And I wanted, like when I done the snowman, I wanted a really nice white, a really good white. But it don't matter how white you get, you've got to have a light background, or put a little bit of fabric down and cut around it and try and take most of it away before you do the rest of the pattern. Because white doesn't always show up white unless you've got white in behind. And that is a lovely, isn't that a beautiful colour? Do you know what, that reminds me of Cadbury's chocolate. They always wrap it in those lovely colours, don't they? You know, they wrap, not the chocolate itself. And that was my favourite one, because you can see I've used loads of that. But when I used this one, it was duller. And the same with this. I thought, oh, this and this colour will go lovely together, because this green is in now. I really love that green. And I thought, oh, don't they look lovely together? But that, to me, when I done it, looked like a grey, a little wishy-washy. It did not stand out, although I like me lights, don't I? It wasn't a good, sort of all right. I'll show you the design I done with it now. I'll go get that one. Right, now this is the design I done with using those. I did tell you, didn't I? They were icy cord. Yeah, that's what they were. And I done this one. Now, in certain lights, it looks better than, but the white, that white wasn't the white that I bought from Barnyards. That wasn't the, you know, brilliant white. That was a pearly white, and that was a Madeira. And I thought, you know, brilliant white would stick out too much. So I did do, it almost looks, this pattern almost looks like it's floating on top, because it's not, the density of this design wasn't nowhere near like what I'm used to sewing out. And I did sort of stop and then backtrack, because you can backtrack a colour thread and then just press again and you got the same colour in. It'll just go around that little area to thicken it up a bit. So I've done that for this bit here. Yeah, I think I'll make it into a really nice cushion. And it, although my sweet is light, it's got merges of colour in it, but that will go on with it. Yeah, and it's a shame that one didn't come out very good. Anyway, I hope you you like my videos. I'm just going to see if there's any cornmeal in it, and I'll pop a bit of cornmeal. This is the Edland Hotel. Second week we're coming up now. We came up with friends last week and we're back again. And here we are. I'll show you out the window now, if I can just move it nice and slowly. Nearly there. Here we are at the Edland Hotel. There we go. This is the view. Fresh flowers. These are all fresh in the ladies' toilets here. I just thought that looked rather nice, and it is absolutely beautiful in here. I'm only filming because I'm the only one in here, but I just thought how lovely it looked. It's the ladies' toilets at the Headland Hotel. And there we are, and this is our friends and Team Antony. I hope you like the Headland Hotel. That was in Newquay. I did film a little bit of actually driving through Newquay, which I should have put that clip there, but I didn't want the video. I thought you'd get fed up with me if I make it too long. Just to show you this, just before I go, this is what the upgrade was, and it came in this box with 2 hoops, and it also came with this is the 8x8, and it also came with, like I've said before, the 8x12, but also I don't think it's, is it in here? Well, you get, hang on, must have took it out. You get a little disc so that it talks you through how to sort of downloading it. But my laptop, I've got an Apple one now, and I can't put the disc in. You know, it's a bit old really to have the disc with it. So I rang Brother, and they said, don't worry about not having the disc on your laptop, you know, to put the CD in. We'll give you a code. So they gave me the code, and it just downloaded then really quick, so that was good. So that wasn't a problem. Now I also just want to tell you something else. You know, I done because I'd used this, don't I, velvet, and this is one of my other velvet cushions I've done. You've probably seen this one before, and I've just wrote champagne on it, and it's a lovely Italian velvet, this is. So that last you know, butterfly was of the same Italian velvet. Now I don't hoop that, I don't put that one in the hoop, because this would get, you know, you get your hoop marks all going around, and you wouldn't be able to iron them out. So what I do is I use, this is what I've just tore off from that design I've done. It's just a grid, and it's sticky underneath. You peel the top off, you've probably seen it before. You score it round the edges, and then you tear it off, and then this is still quite sticky now, as you can see, and then you lay your bit of velvet, because velvet, you can't hoop velvet, or towels, and whatever you don't feel you can hoop, or even some linens that might be a bit delicate. You lay it down on your hoop, and then you place your fabric on top, and then if you've got a little bit of this sticking out the hoop, you just put a few pins each corner. But what I do then is I press that little square box on my embroidery design. You know, when you click on it, you press embroidery on your machine, you just stitch that little box out, and that will hold that in place. So that's how I've done my embroidery designs. And this is one I done in that same fabric, and I'll just show you these. I'm down here in my lounge, that's why my cushions are all here. I've shown you these before, but this one was an amazing one, and I just mirror imaged them and done too. But the swirls were quite dense, and they did make the machine go quite noisy stitching them out. So I don't think I'll do these here bits, these little swirls. I think if I'd done them again, I would just, you know, you can push the machine on so many stitches, you just keep adding that 100 stitches or something, or 10 stitches. And then on my bed I had a dormer bedding which was yellow and blue, so I made this one for my bed. And this one is what's that mark there? Oh, I thought that was a mark there then, but no, that's little swirls, that's all on there. Yeah, and this was a lovely bit of linen, velvet. I keep saying linen because all my cushions I always use linen or velvet. I always like a lovely bit of and these cushions, oh, they are feather, but somehow they were well, these I bought down Trago, the fillings for them. They're lovely for cushion, for feather cushions down Trago. Trago Mills in Farm Office where I went, because look, this has been in here a while and it's still really, really lovely and padded. And all I done was, to stop the feathers poking through, I encased it in a little bit of cotton material. So I love to see a nice few cushions, but I don't like cushions all the same. I like a bit of variety or something a little bit different. Anyway, my lovelies, I wish Corey was on tonight, but Thursday nights it's not on. So I shall watch that tomorrow. Anyway, love to you all. And I just want to say a big thank you for staying with me, because I haven't been on for a while and I have lost a few subscribers, but to be in all is fair, not a lot considering the length of time I wasn't on. So I just, a big thank you, and if you can, leave a message down below. I know you're still there then, and thank you so much for watching my videos. Love to you all. Bye.